If you've been trying to save money and your balance keeps sitting at zero, it's not because you're bad with money. It's because you're using a saving method that was never designed to work on a tight budget. And that single mistake is quietly keeping millions of people stuck. Here's the uncomfortable truth about how to save $1,000. Most people try to save whatever's left over at the end of the month. But by the end of the month, there's never anything left. That's not a discipline problem. That's a system problem. And systems are fixable. The people who actually reach that first $1,000 the fastest aren't earning more money. They're doing three specific things differently. They automate before they can spend. They cut the expenses that eat the most, and they find dollars they already have but don't see. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear step-by-step plan to hit that first 1,000, even if right now you feel like there's nothing to spare. Before we get into the how, let's spend 60 seconds on the why. Because understanding what this $1,000 actually does for you is what keeps you motivated when the process gets boring. Most financial experts agree that the first $1,000 is the hardest money you will ever save. Not because the math is complicated, but because you're building a habit from scratch while also trying to survive on whatever you make. Charlie Munger, one of the most successful investors in history, famously said the first $100,000 is the brutally hard part. And the very first step toward $100,000 is that first $1,000. Here's what that $1,000 actually does. It becomes your financial shock absorber. Right now, if your car needs a $700 repair or your phone breaks, where does that money come from? For most Americans, specifically roughly 57% according to recent surveys, the answer is a credit card or a loan. And when you borrow for an emergency, you pay interest, which makes your next month even harder. That's the cycle. $1,000 in a savings account breaks that cycle. It means one bad week doesn't derail your entire month. And once you know how to save $1,000, saving the next $1,000 takes half the time because the system is already running. Here's the part almost everyone gets backwards. They pay their bills, buy groceries, go about their month, and then try to save whatever's left. The people who actually build savings flip that order entirely. The strategy is called pay yourself first, and it works by moving money into savings the moment you get paid, before you ever see it in your checking account. Your brain cannot miss money it never sees sitting there. When the transfer happens automatically, you adapt to living on what remains. It sounds simple, but the results are dramatic. Here's how to set it up in about 10 minutes. Open a separate savings account, ideally a high-yield savings account or high-yield savings account. These are accounts typically offered by online banks that pay significantly more interest than a standard bank account. Right now, many are paying around 4% to 5% per year, compared to the national average for regular savings accounts of around 0.5%. On a $1,000, that difference means earning about $40 to $50 a year versus just $5. Small, but it adds up, and it's money you get for doing nothing extra. Once that account is open, set up an automatic transfer from your checking account on the same day you get paid. Even $25 per paycheck counts. If you're paid bi-weekly, that's $650 a year from $25 alone. If you can push it to $50 per paycheck, you hit $2,300 a year. The key is to start with a number that doesn't hurt. You can always increase it later, but automation running at $25 beats a plan to save $200 that you keep meaning to start next month. Now, once that automatic transfer is set up, the fastest way to increase what it moves is to cut the expenses draining you the most. And that's where most people are sitting on more savings than they realize. Almost every saving advice article tells you to cut your daily coffee or your streaming subscriptions. And sure, $15 a month matters. But here's what those articles miss. There are three expense categories that typically make up over 70% of an American household's budget. If you focus your cutting energy on those three, instead of small luxuries, you can free up 10 times the money in the same effort. The big three are housing, transportation, and food. Let's go through each one quickly, because even small moves inside these categories can unlock real savings fast. Housing is usually the biggest, and it's also the hardest to change quickly. But one move that's always worth exploring. If you have unused space, renting a room, even temporarily, can cover a huge chunk of your goal. If that's not realistic, call your renter's or homeowner's insurance provider and ask them to requote your policy. Loyal customers are routinely overcharged. A 15-minute phone call can sometimes save $20 to $40 a month. Transportation is where most people leave the most money on the table. The average American spends over $12,000 a year on a car, including the payment, insurance, gas, and maintenance. That's $1,000 a month. Two specific moves to look at. First, shop your car insurance. Independent comparison sites can find you equivalent coverage for less, often $50 to $100 cheaper per month. Second, if you have a car loan and your credit score has improved since you took it out, refinancing can sometimes cut your monthly payment by $50 to $100 overnight. Food is the one you actually have the most control over, and not in the way you think. The issue usually isn't eating out occasionally. It's the unplanned grocery trip where you spend $80 and half of it expires. Meal planning for just 5 dinners a week, using a list, consistently cuts grocery bills by 20% to 30% for most households. Even finding $100 a month across these 3 categories means your automatic savings transfer can jump from $25 a paycheck to $75, and suddenly you're looking at hitting $1,000 in well under a year. But there's one more source of savings that most people completely overlook, and it requires almost no lifestyle change at all. Found money is any money that already belongs to you but isn't working for you yet. And for most people on a tight budget, there's more of it than you'd expect. The first and biggest source is tax refunds. The average U.S. tax refund runs around $3,000. That's one check that could triple your savings goal by itself. The mistake most people make is treating it like a bonus and spending it within a few weeks. Instead, the day your refund hits, transfer the entire $1,000 goal amount straight into your high-yield savings account before you budget anything else. You've already been living without that money all year. You won't miss it now. The second source is subscriptions you've forgotten about. The average American household pays for about 4 to 6 subscriptions and actively uses about half of them. Go through your bank and credit card statements right now, this week, and cancel anything you haven't used in the last 30 days. Even cutting 2 unused subscriptions at $15 each saves $360 a year. That's more than a third of your goal from things you weren't even using. The third source is selling things you already own. This one feels small, but it adds up faster than people expect. A Saturday afternoon photographing unused electronics, clothes, furniture, or sports equipment and listing them on Facebook Marketplace or eBay can realistically generate $100 to $300 in a short time. That's a legitimate, immediate boost to your balance. And it declutters your space at the same time. Combined, these 3 found money sources alone could get you to $1,000 faster than any budgeting app ever will. But all of this only works if you keep your savings out of reach. Which brings us to the trap that wipes out progress most often. Almost everyone who starts saving makes this mistake at least once, and it's completely understandable. You build up $400 or $600 in your savings account. A non-emergency expense comes up. Maybe a birthday gift, a concert, a spontaneous weekend trip, and you dip into it. Then it takes 3 months to get back to where you were. Then it happens again. Your balance oscillates and never actually reaches $1,000. The fix is separation and labeling. The moment you open your high-yield savings account, name it something specific. Literally type first $1,000, do not touch, as the account nickname. Most online banks allow this. It sounds basic, but studies on behavioral economics consistently show that labeling money for a specific purpose makes you significantly less likely to spend it impulsively. Your brain treats named money differently than a generic pool of funds. The second part of the fix is a small buffer in your checking account. One reason people raid savings is that checking runs dry and savings is the only option. Try to keep at least $100 to $200 as a permanent floor in your checking account. This is not savings. It's a friction layer that stops you from needing to touch your actual savings for small shortfalls. Once your savings are separated and labeled, you stop the bleed. And that $1,000 becomes inevitable rather than aspirational. Now let's look at what a realistic timeline actually looks like, so you know what to expect. Let's run the actual numbers, because seeing a concrete path makes the goal feel real instead of theoretical. Scenario 1. You can only save $50 a month. That's $25 from 2 paychecks, automated. At that rate, you hit $1,000 in about 20 months, just under 2 years. That's not fast, but it is progress, and the habit you build is worth more than the $1,000 itself. Scenario 2. You implement the big 3 cuts and free up an extra $100 a month, so you're saving $150 total. Now you hit $1,000 in about 7 months. Scenario 3, you do all of the above and put your tax refund toward it. If you direct just $500 of your refund straight to savings, you could hit $1,000 in 3 to 4 months. Notice that none of these scenarios require a raise. None of them require you to deprive yourself completely. They just require a system running quietly in the background, a few targeted cuts in the categories that matter most, and a clear plan for money that's already coming to you. And once you hit $1,000, you don't stop. You just change the label on the account to Emergency Fund, $3,000 goal, and keep the automation running. The hardest part is already over. Let's bring it all together. Saving your first $1,000 comes down to 3 moves. First, automate. Open a high-yield savings account today and set up an automatic transfer, even $25, for your next payday. Second, cut the big 3. Look at your housing costs, your car insurance, and your grocery habits before you worry about anything small. Third, find money you already have, a tax refund, forgotten subscriptions, things sitting in your closet you can sell this weekend. Layer those 3 things together. Name your savings account so your brain protects it, and keep a small buffer in checking so you're never forced to raid it. That's the complete system. Your action item for today, not this week, today, is to open a high-yield savings account and schedule that first automatic transfer. 10 minutes. That one move changes the trajectory of everything that comes after it. If this video helped you, subscribe to Plain Money so you don't miss what's next. And hit the like button so this reaches someone else who needs it. And drop a comment below telling me one thing you're planning to cut first. I read every single one. Now that you know how to save your first $1,000, the next thing that quietly undoes it is debt interest working against you in the background. Watch that video next. It'll show you exactly how to stop paying your debt off in the wrong order, which is costing people hundreds of dollars a year without them realizing it.